following will contain spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
But now I'm going to stay on Eman, and I am going to ask him his most favorite part of the whole movie. We're talking about this character right here. I know it's his favorite. Can y'all hear that?
You are in my mind.
Get him. All right, I'll play a little later. I don't want to get this video claimed, but Adam Warlock, he was introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in the post-credit scene with a cocoon, and they hyped it up like he was just going to be the baddest of the baddest of the baddest of the baddest. And I'm not going to stunt. I don't know who all of Adam Warlock is, but I've heard every nerd, every geek online just talk about how powerful he is and that he can do this, and he got the soul gem in his head. And if we just go over to the internet, in his original incarnation, when he was known as him, Warlock could project blasts of cosmic energy from his hands as concussive forces fly at vast speeds, travel to different dimensions, create a solar vortexes, molecular walls, and flame barriers. He has been played by this gentleman, Mr. Will Poulter, who I am a fan of. I think he's pretty good, and he finally made his not directorial debut, but debut in this film as Adam Warlock, part of the Sovereign. But I'm coming to you first, E-Man. How did you feel about this depiction of this supposed powerful character, sir?
So right off the bat, you know, with the movie starting off, we see Adam Warlock just beelining in straight for Rocket, and he is just tearing stuff up. And I was here for all of that, because that to me was like, yes, here we go. This guy is super powerful. You know, he's no joke. And he just bust out on the scene just out of nowhere. And even from the comics, that's just kind of like how he was introduced. Like, he just literally popped up during the Infinity Saga, and he was like, I'm gonna help y'all with this whole Thanos thing, you know, with him having all the stones and all that. Like, he was the equalizer. He was the one thing. When Thanos was clearing everybody out, Adam Warlock was the one that came through. Not saying he just whooped everybody, but he was the one thing that made a huge difference in the Infinity Saga. So it was already kind of disappointing when not only did we get that hype of Guardians 2 that Adam Warlock was coming. Keep in mind, this was right before Infinity War was coming. So we was like, oh man, Adam Warlock, Infinity War, it's about to go down, because Infinity War was the Infinity Saga was really, that was all Adam Warlock. That was his bread and butter, right? And when he wasn't used in the whole Infinity Saga, it was kind of like, so what y'all gonna do with him? Like, what's the point? You know, because that was literally everything that really catapulted this character into stardom, right? But like, even when that was done, okay, we saw that he was coming for this movie. I was like, all right, I'm interested to see what he does, but I have no idea what role he's going to play, because this is not some sort of throwaway character. Like, he usually shows up when things are at a cosmic problematic level. Like, he is, like, when you know he shows up, something is really about to go down. And then James Gunn got involved. And then James Gunn did what he did to this character. And I would say that this is probably my biggest turnoff to this movie, is the depiction and interpretation of this character. Now, let me also be very clear, because I know people like to say repetitive things in the comments. I've been with the MCU for a long time. I've read comic books for a long time. I understand that the MCU is not the place to have direct comic adaptations. Totally get that. No need to lecture me on that whatsoever. However, this iteration of Adam Warlock was terrible, in my opinion. What James Gunn did with them was absolutely unnecessary. I was not in favor of the fact of, hey, let's go make him a big dumb galoot again. I don't know why this is a thing for James Gunn. I don't know why he finds so much of like a go-to move to make powerful characters like stupid and like just kind of immature or whatever. Like he doesn't have to, you know, he made him into a man-child basically. And don't get me wrong, I understand the writing. Okay, I understood what happened. He was in the egg. He got taken out prematurely. I totally understand that, but I just don't like it. It doesn't work for me because at the end of the day, when this movie is all said and done, he was the most useless character. Now, yes, he did come in. He saved Peter at the end, but everything else before that, I didn't care. They could have sent them pigs, them little other pigs. The Evolutionary could have sent them pigs to go get Rocket and not Adam Warlock. Like, it was just really like, why are you here? What are you doing except for comic relief? So, you know, and for the people that don't know about Adam Warlock, I would say this. It's almost like if, you know, let's say you have someone like Wolverine, right? Okay, yeah, maybe you don't read the comics, but Wolverine, you have a sense maybe of like what that character's like, but he shows up and he's like, yo, I want my mommy. I want a hug. Can somebody do this for me? Like, that depiction of that character is so far off that it's like I can't even mess with this, and it was distracting, to be honest with you. Like, so no, I don't like this character. I don't like what James Gunn did with him. I'm not even looking forward to what they will do with this character moving forward, because the way they set him up right now, what am I supposed to care about? What am I supposed to care about? At this point, I'm just waiting for him to grow up. I'm waiting for him to kind of mature into something. But even at that point, you've regulated this character who, again, just from the comics, was such a pivotal figure. He didn't even really mess with average day heroes and stuff. Like, this is the person that was like, yo, I'm talking to Infinity. I'm talking to Eternity. I'm talking to the Living Tribunal. Like, that's the level that this dude is usually on. And now you regulated him as just another person on the team. And I don't care. I don't care. So maybe this works for other people, and that's totally fine. Maybe it works for people that don't know who Adam Warlock is. Totally understandable. But for me, I don't like it. It doesn't work for me. It's not my cup of tea. And I think it was just a waste of time and a waste of this character.
I ain't mad at you for that, man. I'm really not. And you're not lying. Towards the beginning of this, you know, when he starts fighting Rocket, like all this was cool. I like the physicality of it. You know, Rocket getting out of there, he hit him with the kill switch, and then your girl Nebula coming through, blasting him. Yep. I liked all that.
That was dope.
I really did. The way he flinged her into the wall, and you know, it's coming up. When he was fighting Drax, I was like, damn, you know, all of this was cool. The physicality was nice, but even myself, not being an expert on, I just know about Adam Warlock from hearing other people on the internet, Eman and other people talk about him, and I did expect more. I did not like the goofy silliness. They even tried to put it in the plot a little bit like High Evolutionary. You took him out of the cocoon too early, you know, but still, I don't want to say my expectations were just super high for him, but I was expecting more. You know, I mean, the guy has everything you said, E-Man, has supposedly supposed to have the soul gem in his head, and you know, talk to the big people that are ruling the universe. But you know, he was reduced down to a child.
By the way, why would the High Evolutionary want to take him out early? Just like someone who's obsessed with perfection, someone who's obsessed with the process being completed perfectly. What sense would that? I mean, maybe, I'm asking y'all because y'all saw it twice. That didn't make sense to me. That seemed like a contrary to the actual guy's character and the whole point of the movie. Why would he rush something that wasn't ready?
Good question, Elliot. Do you have an answer?
I pointed towards, and this is just me just trying to come up with something. I pointed towards the scene where he was not interrogating, when we took Rocket out and said, how did you know this? You're my creation. You're not supposed to, you know, fix my issues or whatever. So I took it as whenever his creation creates something without his approval, without his hands in being involved, because we know that the Aisha, the High Princess, she made Adam Warlock. She wasn't told to make him. That was her creation. So I almost took it as like he's kind of interfering with her creations because he doesn't want his creations to ever be above him or to create something that's above his intelligent level. So that's what I point towards, that he kind of just almost affected her perfection, perfected her project, sabotage it because he doesn't want someone that he created to be higher than him on that level. So that's what I'm pointing towards potentially.
Okay.
All right.
Did it work for you though? Like, how do you feel about Adam Warlock as a whole in this film?
In general, so to Eman's point, so my knowledge with him only boils down to when I read the Infinity Gauntlet comic book run, and that was my introduction to him. And I'm like, this dude is OP. Like everything you just read of his power skills, like that is another level, just like a reset the earth type of character. So my expectations were thrown out once Infinity War and Endgame happened, that I knew he was going to be involved in that. So I kind of just lowered whenever we see him. I already kind of calibrated my mind that he's going to be not what I want him to be. And the way I kind of look at this interpretation is the same way I look at Vision. And also too, I think Vision was like the Adam Warlock of the Infinity War and Endgame. They kind of just substituted that character. But I look at the way that they're building Adam Warlock is very much so in the same vein as Vision and Age of Ultron. He was a baby. He was just born. He wasn't fully developed. And we kind of, as Civil War happened, Infinity War, and obviously we got him in WandaVision. And then the next time we'll see him, I'm hoping that is the fully formed version of Vision, White Vision and all the stuff that we're going to see with Vision Quest. So to Eman's point, I will play devil's advocate. I definitely agree with you that this was not the best intro. You only get one time to do a first impression. His first impression wasn't the best, but I hope that it has a payoff, because if we are getting this infant stage of Adam Warlock, hopefully whoever takes on this mantle of carrying the character's interpretation and development gives us those seeds that, again, you meet Vision and Age of Ultron, we see him again in Civil War and so on and so forth. And the next time we hopefully see Vision, he's going to be, again, fully fledged, ready to go about that action Vision. And I hope the same could be said maybe 3, 4, 5 years from, Adam Warlock. We met him as a kid, and now this man is OP. This man is they built the character to make it worth our while and make us worth this investment, to now we can see him literally growing up in front of our eyes.
So look, just real quick, I wish they would have done what you said with Vision, with Adam Warlock. Yeah, because Vision was just more so like he just didn't understand the world. He was still growing in knowledge. Right. They didn't make him a slapstick joke. Yeah,
he wasn't
stupid. They didn't make him the comic relief.
The James Gunn of it all. Yeah.
So like everything you just said, if they had done that with Adam Warlock, I would have been here for all of it. Yeah. All of it. And that I agreed. I also would have been looking forward to seeing where he goes after that. Yeah. But this, I can't care about a character that you don't even take seriously. Yeah. If you don't take him seriously, why should I?
I hear you.
So yeah,
and that's that Russo effect, man. Again, because even Vision, so that points Eman's point, and I know that wasn't when they introduced him, that was Joss Whedon. Yeah. But like, I was just born yesterday, like that type of comedy, and we've never seen Vision be like slaps, except for like WandaVision. But that wasn't like that Vision. That was Wanda's projection of Vision. But yeah, I totally agree with Eman. It's the writing. James Gunn does have this thing where I think when he sees OP characters, like and I'm just speaking from what I would imagine James Gunn's going through his head. I have to humanize them. I have to kind of show them in a light that grounds them, to make people maybe relate to them, that they're not just this overpowered, God level character, that they are silly and dumb and make mistakes and can fall in love with a random creature and want to carry around like it's his pet. So I think that is a James Gunn trait, that he just doesn't always want to fully lean into, this is a powerful character that ain't about no games. James Gunn's like, let me turn it down a notch and add a little goofiness and craziness to him. So that is a James Gunn thing. And hopefully, Eman and Brandon, I got faith in him with Superman. But hopefully we don't see Superman Clark Kent on, Def Comedy Jam, telling jokes throughout the film. So,
well, he did say it's not a comedy.
Yeah,
so
he did say that. So
that gave me a lot of hope. I was like, okay, don't mess with this now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be light. It ain't got to be super dark or emo, but don't be having Superman cracking jokes either.
Let me just give me a quick second, guys. Quick second. I want to ask y'all. This is a little part right here is Adam Warlock versus everybody. Who would win, Adam Warlock or Vision? Vision or Adam Warlock?
Which
in a
one?
fight.
No,
From the
Adam
Like
Warlock?
MCU, MCU version?
both MCU and the comics.
Oh, so I'll go. I mean, comics is Adam Warlock, in my
Yeah.
opinion. MCU, it would be Vision at this point, just because
Yeah.
he's more mature and he's been more seasoned, and especially now with White Vision, I think he would be able to take him out.
Yep.
Okay.
This version of Adam Warlock.
E-Man, where you at on that?
No, agreed. All of that. Yeah.
Okay.
So Adam Warlock is stupid.
Adam Warlock is stupid. I got another one I'm gonna ask out here in a second though, but
Here comes a new challenger.
well, all right. We got a new guest backstage. Gonna bring them on right now. Pretty excited about it. Coming to the stage. It's Nagier with Big Gold Belt Media. Hello, sir. How you doing today, my brother?
What's up, gentlemen? How y'all feeling?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Man,
Nice to have you, man. Thanks for being here.
That felt like a hot tag. I'm just laying out.
All
Ready to
good.
Take everybody on.
Nagier, this is Eman. Eman, this is Nagier. Elliot, this is Nagier. Nagier, this is Eman. I mean Elliot. And so welcome to the show, sir. Welcome to the show. We've been chopping it up in the DMs for some time now. You've been on my show before with Avatar 2. We did Causeway and also Everything Everywhere All at Once. We did some Oscar coverage and had a lot of fun doing that. It was a nice collab, and I was like, man, I know we've both been interested in you coming through to join us on these spoiler discussions for this MCU, man. And so I'm really glad to have you here today. Also, guys, if you love what Nagier has to say, you can follow him on social media. His handle's on the screen. His information is in the description box of this video, and he's on my channel tab as well. That's not my channel tab. This is my channel tab. And so help this brother get to his next milestone of 30,000 subscribers. But Nagier, we're in the middle of this, and I want to get your opinion on this, man. We were talking about Adam Warlock. How many times have you seen this film? Once, twice, 7 times?
Once, and I'm going to the secondary screening next week. So
okay.
Yeah.
We were all pretty disappointed with the depiction of Adam Warlock. I would say Mr. E-Man the most, and when you catch the replay, he expounded on that very, very well. Expectations, they just wasn't reached. Now, as far as it being concerned, like the physicality of the character, like this scene that we're looking at right here, this worked for me. He was strong as hell. He could beat ass. I like that. He gave it to Nebula. He gave it to Groot. He gave it to Drax. But me personally, and pretty much everybody says, we were disappointed with the comedy. I mean, this is a guy that goes toe to toe with Thanos and all of the cosmic beings of the universe, but he was kind of turned into a joke. That may have been the best part of the film for you, sir. And that's fine if it was. Everything is subjective. But if you want to let us know, man, how did you feel about Adam Warlock playing by Will Poulter? Did it work for you? Did it not? You somewhere in the middle. How did you feel about Adam?
I was full transparency. I was absolutely like Will Poulter upon the casting. I was kind of like, I don't know. And I enjoyed him in was it Meet the Millers or We the Millers?
You Are the Millers.
Yeah. So I was kind of like, oh, I don't know. But I will say what helped me with this is that there was some dialogue within the film that had to make me kind of be more reasonable about everything you just said about who we know Adam Warlock to be. They say, oh, he came out the cocoon too early. So I was like, oh, okay. So what, is it going to be, there's going to be some flaws or discrepancy with his, what he performs and maybe even his power set and going to the film. But I think that's why I enjoyed it, because there was that sort of like prematurity in terms of like, yeah, he's powerful. We know what he can do, especially if you know the comics. But like, yeah, he gets out there and he's kind of like all over the place and kind of dipsy at times. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's because like, the full maturity isn't there. So like, of course, whenever you talk about a character like Adam Warlock being hinted at now for, a couple of years, you're like, oh, I can't wait to see him come in and clean and wash everything. But I think that what made me just kind of okay with it was just kind of like, okay, yeah, they're just saying he's just not quite there yet. This was his introduction. This is his beginning. This is his Mal origin story, shall we say. So the next appearance is definitely where I'm gonna be very, very critical in terms of like, you know, what is this MCU Adam Warlock's gonna be? The one thing I will say really helped me with him as well too was the cinematography. I was digging all of the up close and aerial shots with him. I mean, I was jokingly saying it felt like the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster with Adam Warlock. Like you were just right there with him, zooming around, and I was like, man, this is dope. And you know, again, just I'm now just going to kind of sit back and see what his next appearance looked like. But for this one, I was kind of like, okay, we're not going to quite get him the OP version of him just yet. So.
I got you. Appreciate that, man. Right before you joined in, I asked Elliot and Eman who will win out of Vision and Warlock and Vision. You got any 2 cents there on who would take the cake?
Especially if it's right now, it's not even close. It's Vision.
Really?
Not even close.
Okay. I'm asking the rest of y'all. Adam Warlock versus Thor. Versus Thor. Adam Warlock. Thor. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Eman, where you at on this?
Thor.
Okay, Thor across the board. Okay, next one. Adam Warlock versus Sentry.
Come on, man. Why do you hate Adam Warlock like this?
I don't know. I'm gonna say Sentry, but who you got? Who you got?
I got Sentry.
I'm about to say, are we going to have one where Adam Warlock will win?
Okay.
Right.
Okay. How about this one right here? Adam Warlock.
Oh my God,
versus...
dog, stop. Dog, stop.
I mean, what about in the comics? What about in the comics?
Adam Warlock matter. Well, I mean, in the comics, like Adam Warlock is OP, you know.
Yeah.
But in the MCU,
no.
Okay.
And I don't know. The last one right here, Adam Warlock versus Thanos.
Come on,
man.
This man
Elliot,
gave him his first like straight up defeated streak.
Okay.
Can't even be undefeated. Just
and
straight.
One more thing before we move on, B. I will say again, going back to what Eman was asking earlier about why High Evolutionary let him out too. I guess too, just thinking about it thematically, the whole theme of this film being embracing those flaws and imperfections in the characters. So I think that's another thing. I'm just trying to come up with reasons why would James Gunn just decide to go, because as we talked about, there's a level of like being stupid and being new to the world, being a fish out of water versus being, just kind of dumb. So I think that's where James Gunn probably leaned a little bit too heavily in that thematic theme of just like, he's not perfected. He is an infant. He is not, at his highest peak. So I think that's another reason why he probably decided to go that route. But again, there's a difference of showing the intelligence level of a character and just make him seem dumb. But that's my last point with Adam.
And that's my main thing. It's the personality, the demeanor that I didn't care for. I don't care if he's not the most powerful person or if he's not like untouchable. I don't care about that. I don't need my heroes to be invincible. I'm just saying the way you carry yourself, that I think there is value in at least embracing where the character came from. I think that I'm not saying they got to have the same path. I'm not saying they got to do the same things, but like, my goodness, like, again, like I said, you don't want Wolverine coming out here being a sucker. That's not his personality. He doesn't have to have the exact origin and the exact storyline, but that's not his character. You don't want Deadpool coming in here not being, funny. You want him to follow the personality traits. Like, that's literally the bare minimum. So yeah, he can miss me with this.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is how we felt about Adam Warlock. Let us know if you're a fan of him in the MCU or you're a fan in the comics. If you think James Gunn knocked his depiction out of the park, or you think it was a miserable disappointment, or you're somewhere in the middle, however you feel, you're entitled to your opinion as well as ours. It's all subjective, but please let us know down in the comment section.